Long ago, there lived a woodcutter in a small village. He was sincere in his work and very honest. Every day, he set out into the nearby forest to cut trees. He brought the woods back into the village and sold them out to a merchant and earned his money. He earned just about enough to make a living, but he was satisfied with his simple living. One day, while cutting a tree near a river, his axe slipped out of his hand and fell into the river. The river was so deep, he could not even think to retrieve it on his own. He only had one axe, which was gone into the river. He became very worried, thinking how he will be able to earn his living now. He was very sad and prayed to the goddess. He prayed sincerely, so the goddess appeared in front of him and asked, "What is the problem?" The goddess put her hand deep into the river and took out a silver axe and asked, "Is this your axe?" The woodcutter looked at the axe and said, "So the goddess, no, so the goddess put her hand back deep into the water again and showed a golden axe. "Is this your axe?" The woodcutter looked at the axe and said, "No." The goddess said, "Take a look again, son. This is very valuable golden axe. Are you sure?" The woodcutter said, "No, that's not mine. I can't cut the trees with golden axe. It's not useful for me." The goddess smiled and finally put her hand into the water again and took out of his iron axe and asked, "Is this your axe?" To this the woodcutter said, "Yes, this is mine. Thank you." The goddess was very impressed and the honesty, so she gave him his iron axe and also other two axes as a reward for the honesty. So what is the moral? Honesty is the best policy. That's the lesson, the woodcutter and the goddess. Now let us discuss the second one, love and help children. In a busy station, there is a little girl sitting all alone on a bench. She stares at the floor as all the busy travelers rush around her. She does not move. Some of the people are in such a big hurry that they do not notice her. Other people looked at her, but they think she is not my daughter. She is someone else's responsibility. I am sure her mother and father must be close. They continues running to where they need to go. Nobody helped her actually. At this, After some time, a man stops next to the girl. He was very tired after a long day of work and he just wants to get to his home as quickly as possible so that he can be with his family. But he cannot just leave this little girl alone. He cannot see her parents anywhere. The little girl is no older than his own little daughter. The man walked up the girl. "Hello," he says. "Are you all right? Are your parents here with you?" The little girl does not even look up at him. He gently sits down next to her and touches her shoulder. Now she lifts her head and he can see that she is crying. He feels terrible, but he gives her a very warm smile and holds out her hand. She looks scared, but she takes his hand and lets him lead her into the bus station information desk. He helps her sit down on a chair next to the desk and explains the situation to the security guard. So she was all alone, right? He helped that girl to go into the bus station to the security guard. Nobody helped her, this man, but helped her, right? The guard makes an announcement over the speaker's attention. A young girl is waiting for her parents at the information desk. If you are looking for your daughter, please come immediately. Thank you. A couple of minutes later, a woman comes running towards the desk. As soon as she sees the little girl, she shouts and runs up to her. She lifts the girl into her arms and holds her very tight. Then she separates herself from her daughter and looks at her face while she says, "I'm here, Andrea. Everything is okay. I love you, honey." Then she turns and greets the man. "Thank you so much, sir." She says, "We got separated into the crowd earlier. My daughter is deaf, so I could not make an announcement over the speakers for her. I was looking for her everywhere. I was so worried." Now you understood why the girl was not looking up when the man asked her, "How are you?" The girl is deaf. She can't hear anything. That's why when he touches her, she just looked up, right? That is why. That girl was alone in the crowd and that man helped. Now the man understands why the little girl did not look at him until he touched her shoulder. He feels happy that he has helped. It must have been very scary for the little Andrea and her mother. He smiles and thinks of how he will tell his family about this. He is a father too. He knows how important it is to love and help all children. The theme is that love and help all children whenever they are in need, right? Especially such children, those who are deaf and dumb. We have to help all the children like that. So what is the moral you understood? Just love and help children. Let's check the next lesson, having a best friend. A story tells that two friends were walking through a desert. During some point of the journey, they had an fight, and one friend slapped the other one in the face. The one who got slapped was hurt, but without saying anything, he wrote in the sand something. What he wrote in the sand, you know? What he wrote in the sand? His friend beat him, right? Slapped his face. Then what did he write, you know? Where did he write actually? He wrote on the sand. He wrote, "Today my best friend slapped me in the face." They kept on walking until they found an oasis. Oasis is a water area, okay, where they decided to take a bath. The one who had been slapped got stuck in the mire and started drowning, but the friend saved him. After he recovered from the near drowning, he wrote on a stone. This time he wrote on a stone, "What? Today my best friend saved my life." When someone hurts us, we should write it down in sand, where winds of forgiveness can erase it away. But when someone does something good for us, we must engrave it on stone, where no wind can ever erase it. A good lesson, right? If someone helps us, we have to write it in our heart. Moral of the story: don't value things you have in your life, but value who you have in your life. Next one. One night, four college students were out partying late night and didn't study for the test which was scheduled for the next day. In the morning, they thought of a plan. They made themselves look dirty with grease and dirt. Then they went to the dean and the master and said they had gone out for a wedding last night, and on their way back, the tire of their car burst and they had to push the car all the way back. So they were in no condition to take the rest. They were lying actually, right? The dean thought for a minute and said they can have the retest after 3 days. They thanked him and said they will be ready by the time. On the third day, they appeared before the dean. The dean said that as this was a special condition test, all four were required to sit in separate classrooms for the test. They all agreed and they had prepared well. The test consisted only 2 questions for 100 marks. Why the dean, the master, put 2 questions only? Can you imagine what are the questions? Only 2 questions. They were lying, right? They lied to him. The questions were your name, which tire burst. Think about it. Take responsibility of you. Will learn your lesson, right? Because they are sitting in different corners, different rooms. Which tire burst? The question is which tire burst. One may write front left, another one may write front right, another one may write back left, another one may write back right, right? They cannot write the correct answer, same answer in the answer sheet. So the dean, the master, is very brilliant, right? The master is very brilliant. He put a very, very wise question for them. So what is the moral of the story? Take responsibility or you will learn your lesson. So we have learned a lesson number 1. What is that? The woodcutter and the river goddess. Then 4 friends we learned. Then we learned the value, okay, the value of friendship, right? The value of friendship we learned. And one more lesson we have to learn, that is Akbar and Birbal story. Count wisely. That I will send you as a screenshot. You just read and enjoy the lesson. That's a very simple lesson. You can